What's up, fam? I'm not talking loud because it's early, getting ready, eating something before leaving to have some carbs in me because I'm not gonna take breakfast. Not when I have to run an hour and a half or something like that at 8 a.m. in the morning. But today is a big day. At 11, I have my weekly team meeting with my close team, people working with me. Then I have to work on a project I'm trying to launch in the next month. Then I have a meeting this afternoon. I have to finish some tracks, I have to send to mastering. But today is a big day. Let's see how it goes. Cheers. It's now 10 a.m. coming back home from the gym. I'm sorry, it's really noisy out there. Oh man, I suffered. I think this was the toughest session of the prep, but feels good. I truly feel alive this morning. I ran 13 kilometers with intervals at 14.5 kilometers per hour. So really fast for me. It's been only 1 month since I came back from my stress fracture, doing the toughest run of the prep so far. Today was a lot, but feels good. Now, shower, let's go. Salut tout le monde. Ok, on se tient au courant sur tout ça. Hein. Ouais, bonne app là, tiens. Des bises. In today's video, I wanted to talk about health. First, because it spends a lot of time in my mind. It's changing a lot of things in my life. And I wanted to talk about it with you because I think it can resonate with some of you. The story is, I grew up doing a lot of sport and being pretty educated about food, about health, about taking care of yourself. I was doing a lot of sport during my teenage years. I almost got professional in a sport. I was being decently good, I think, for 14, 15 years old because I was really tall. I was already quite physical and it was going well for me. I thought my life could be so many different things, and I was into art, I was into music, I was into writing. I didn't want to narrow my future to one thing, which is what happens when you go professional in sport. This is where basically everything started. I was working in factories, starting at 4 a.m., finishing at 1 p.m. And I did that for years to get some money. So I was completely out of phase with the normal way of living. I was not sleeping really well. I've never been a good sleeper since as long as I can remember as a kid. I've always slept not enough and I was kind of fine with it. I was not doing any sport. I was smoking like 1 pack a day and it lasted for 13 years, 14 years, something like that. I quit 2 years ago, I think. Then I moved to Lyon. I did some kind of university. I was spending all my time outside. I was always in the city. I never lived before that in a big city. So I was just like enjoying to the fullest, going out all the time and not sleeping enough and going to school in the morning, still not doing any sport. Years passed. I finished my degree. I started promoting parties. I completely stopped sleeping for years and years and years. I was going back home at 7, 8, 9 in the morning, smoking. I wasn't drinking alcohol because I quit drinking alcohol when I was 20 years old because it wasn't good for me. It made me sad, so I decided to completely stop it. I was still partying hard every night, like from Wednesday to Sunday. I had a crew of friends, which was crazy party people, and we just had amazing years, like dancing all night from the opening to the closing almost every Friday, every Saturday, Sunday afternoon. I was young still and I didn't care about it. And the years passed, and of course I started my project Folamour, which took a lot of work, lot of dedication, and I completely forgot about everything else, and I just spent nights, day and night in my studio working on music, digging music for my selections and playing all night longs everywhere in Lyon for years. And I was playing like 3-4 times a week, and I was playing 4, 5, 6 hours set. But I didn't care. I was just doing that, still no sport, still smoking. And then 2019 happened, the biggest year of my career at that point. I played 145 shows, touring alone, completely exhausted. I finished the year completely body shut down. I lost 7 kilograms in a night, just my body being like, okay, I'm done. Just right before Christmas. It was one of the toughest moments of my life. Even talking about it is quite heavy, I must say. I remember how I felt and how weak and lost I felt at that time, because I was finally living the dream life for me, what I was working on for years. I was finally making enough money to earn a living from it, and actually like good money, which was never the goal. I was never expecting to make money out of it. I was expecting to maybe survive, and I was going to be just doing what I love with passion and being happy with the money I got. But I was making good money because I played so many shows and my music was doing well. So that year, winter 2019 to 2020, I just completely lost myself. I was losing a lot of weight. I was weighing 70 kilograms. I'm 192 meters high. I was looking unhealthy. And even now, when I look back at some pictures, some videos of some set of mine from that period, I just look so slim. I just look so unhealthy. Then COVID happened. And COVID happened at a moment that was a life-saving moment for me. Like if COVID didn't happen and I was still going on the road I was on, working 7 days, 365 days a year, probably 15 hours a day, just making music every second I could, and just digging music every second I could, and doing every show I was offered to do everywhere in the world, and just touring alone, and just being so focused in my career and in nothing else. I think I would have ended up in a hospital or something, because it almost already happened. So it was a wake-up call for me, being like, look at yourself now. Look at everything you sacrificed. Look at everything you forgot on the road to where you are now. Try to find a way to do better. And it was the beginning of something. It took a long time before actually being imprinted in me. But the truth is, I started doing sport. I bought weight. I bought an apartment bike. For 2 or 3 months, the first 2 or 3 months, I just fell coming back to life. It was a rebirth for me. I started gaining weight, starting feeling good with myself. I started to have some shapes and it felt good. Also for my mind, it gave me confidence. So I decided to go on that road, and step by step, it started to be growing in me. Then in 2022, I toured with a really good friend of mine called Tom, and he was going to the gym in hotels, going to the gym in Marseille where we were living. He started saying to me like, man, you should go to the gym. Go to the gym, you're going to love it. And I've already had a period going to the gym years before, but in France, it always had that kind of stigma about being for guys, for aesthetics. You know what I mean? So I signed up to a gym nearby my house. It started to be something, but like really light at first. I was going once a week, maybe twice a week. No cardio, no running, nothing else, just like muscle work, but it was already something. And at some point, I read a book. It's a book by Peter Attia that I can only recommend anybody to read. And it's talking about all the things you have to do for longevity, all the things you have to do as a human to be sure that in your 60s, in your 70s, you will still be able to do the things that you think you're going to be able to do, like walking outside, taking care of, grandkids, or just being able to travel by yourself and stuff like that. And life is not easy, and I think we have to be prepared for growing older and for getting weaker. And it kind of like rang a bell in me, being like, man, you really have to start focusing on your health now. And then I started digging about it, and I found out that the number one priority when you want to get better is sleep. This is something I read for the first time in 2024. I always had in mind that not sleeping enough wasn't good for your health, and I never had doubt about it. Like, when you sleep 1 hour or 2 hours a night for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, there is no doubt about it that it's destroying you step by step. And I have a lot of these weeks looking like that. It's something that I'm used to, but I still feel how tough it is for me, on my body, on my mental health too. 2 sleepless nights in a row, and you start thinking about everything in life, and everything turns to gray. Everything is so impacted by sleep. And with my career as an artist, I started to feel how complicated it was going to be. But I decided to stop making excuses, and I started to find my way. So on the 4 big things that I had to work on for my health, there was sleep, there was food, that was sport, and that was mental health. I was already working on my mental health for a couple of years. I was followed by a therapist, and it was going to the right direction. I was feeling good about it. Food, same. Then sport. So it started slowly, but more and more I was adding like 1 more day at the gym, 2 more days at the gym. Then working for the AD set, playing 8 hours. I had to spend a lot of time working on my cardio, working on my endurance. So I started going running, and I fell in love with it last summer, 2024. And we're now early 2025, and I run 4 to 5 times a week, and I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. I'm spending a lot of time doing sport now. So that was okay. And then there was sleep. And sleep was a big topic, because how could I find a perfect balance, like going to sleep at the same time every night, waking up at the same time every morning, when during the week I go to sleep at 11 p.m. or midnight and I wake up at 7 or 8. During the weekend, I go to sleep at 5, 6, 7 a.m. and I wake up at 9, 10 maximum. And I'm not even joking. I don't think I can sleep to 10, even by going to sleep at 7 in the morning. This jet lag every week was really tough to process, and it took me a lot of time to kind of find my way. But the truth is, I always had in me the idea that I was a daytime DJ. I was made for afternoon, I was made for evening, but I was never made for the night. Never made for the night. I always loved nights, but more and more throughout times, people tend to go to harder and faster music for nighttime parties. On my side, I always loved being free in the music selection, and I could feel that there was something that I was losing more and more with time, and I was gaining it during the afternoon. Every time I was playing for evening concert times or afternoon times, I could feel that feeling that I had a couple of years back again, that I was not feeling in a club at 3 a.m. anymore. I started to think about it, and I started to talk with my team, with my agent. I think I should try something different for my health, of course, but also for everybody's health. I don't like the idea of people liking my music and wanting to experience it and having to sacrifice sleep and a part of their health to be able to experience my music, to be part of the things we share. And when I played at AD all afternoon long, the crowd was so diverse and I loved it. This is why I do what I do. I started to push that idea, and more I refuse every gig after midnight. So of course I refused a couple of gigs that I would have loved to do, and I still do some nighttime shows. I still have a couple of gigs like that this year, but I think it's going to be rarer and rarer, because I just want to create something different, and I want everybody to not have to sacrifice health to enjoy music, because I think this is some kind of toxic part of our culture, because we love being in 3 a.m. in a club and to an after party and until the next day or even the next day, and it's part of the culture. But also people want to take care of their health. They understand that not sleeping also impacts their mental health. And there is so many cases of depression now, like the numbers are really scary. I always wanted my music and my sets to be something really positive, something bringing smiles and bringing joy and bringing emotions to people. I want everything to feel connected and pushing for the same goal. I want to add something too about all of this. It's don't wait on taking care of yourself. And once again, I'm going to talk about myself about it. But the truth is, all these years that I was not paying attention in my 20s, in my early 30s, I'm paying the price now. And it's been tough. It's been really tough. The last 2 years, I had so many health issues. And every couple of weeks, I had a new problem. I had to go to a hospital last week for something. And I'm pretty sure that all of this is just a consequence of the lack of focus I had on my health for all this time. The lack of sleep, the lack of understanding my mental health and paying attention to it. I started at 34, and of course, I would have loved to start 10 years before. But the truth is, now is the best time. Because every year I would have not started, would have been worse. So I'm really happy because in the end, it's never too late. If there is one thing that I want to push as an idea in this talk is I'm truly loving it. And I'm not loving it like a capitalist entrepreneur going at the gym at 4 a.m. in the morning and trying to tell you that being hard on yourself is amazing, but just I've never loved myself as much as I love myself today. If I have a tool, I've never felt more confident in myself on being able to endure it and to go through it, to the hard times, through everything. I'm prepared for it. And it's a work day to day. It's not always easy. It's not about hurting yourself, going to the gym and that kind of bullshit. Enjoying the process, enjoying the things that you're doing for yourself. Because in the end, all I'm talking about is about self-love. Because loving yourself and respecting your body and respecting your health is just like loving yourself. Trying to work so you're sure that in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, you're still able to do the things you want to do. Especially because our lives are made in a way that the moment where we will have time is in our 60s, in our 70s. And this is the moment that we'll probably feel the weakest. So preparing yourself for this so you're sure to enjoy that moment is really important. So yeah, that's it for it. Let's get back to the day. Let's go. So I'm done for today. It's been a really, really, really long day. But I hoped it was interesting to follow. I'm trying to show you more of what's happening behind the stage and to try to share my thoughts. So I hope it was interesting. I hope you're liking this new format. Now I'm just gonna have dinner with my girlfriend, watch a TV show or something, and then I'm gonna sleep because it was a really long day. And tomorrow is a new one. See you in 2 weeks. Cheers.